Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Her Perspective. Today I'm ecstatic to be working with the powerhouse of world and food and beverage. Ms Panchali Mahendra is the Chief Executive Officer at Atelier Her House Hospitality, a full service restaurant advisory, development, and operations management company in New York City and Dubai. Atelier House develops world class expertise in the art of operating high caliber food and beverage venues. A Michelin star restaurateur, her list of accolades is so long that the entire episode would get consumed if I list them. So, without further ado, please welcome the phenomenal Miss Pinchali Mahendra. Hello and welcome to Her Perspective.
Hi, thank you so much. That's such a wonderful introduction. I'm so happy we are doing this.
Thank you. So, let's start at the very beginning, shall we? Where are you from? Where did you go to college? And what did you study?
So my family and I, we come originally from Bihar, but I grew up in my elementary life in Hyderabad and Lucknow. That's where the schooling was done, and then I did my graduation from IHM Aurangabad, which, if we can share, is also where your father graduated from. He's
Yes.
actually my super senior. So that is affiliated with the Taj Group of Hotels. And so, it has been a great privilege to start your career with such a niche establishment. And then I did my post-graduation in hospitality itself with the Oberoi Group of Hotels, well known today as OCLD in Delhi. And then, of course, post that, I was doing my training and I worked a couple of places. So I've been all over India for the first 25, 26 years of my life. And then I've been in Dubai now for the last 15 years.
That's really nice. So, you've had a long journey. So, from a work perspective, can you describe what exactly you do in a manner that a 15-year-old could understand?
Yes, absolutely. Sorry. So when you say long, it makes me feel old, but because in my heart, I feel very young, probably way younger than I should. But yes, it has been. It has been over 23 years of working in this industry. And for somebody who's not well versed with what I do or what we do, I'm a restaurateur, and that entails me opening, designing, conceptualizing restaurants, working with talented chefs, very talented colleagues to create menus, create designs, create branding, work with fit out contractors to build something, which is on your paper and an actual dream coming to reality, and then operating it every day. So being in the restaurant, taking care of guests, making sure the food is great, making sure everything is running like a great symphony, and if there are concerns and issues that comes up, so I'm also there to make sure that I you know wrinkle out, I iron out the wrinkles. So that's what my job is.
That's actually really interesting. So, talking about age, I think you are actually still quite young at heart and in person. So, when you were a teenager, what did you imagine your future to look like? Is it anything like what it is now, or how different did it turn out to be?
Oh, not at all. I don't think even for a single day I'd ever imagined that I would work in hospitality or I would be opening restaurants or owning them and doing what I do today. And more so because concepts like that when I was a teenager did not, kind of exist or did come to our know-how, because we knew people who were working in restaurants was because their parents had restaurants or hotels and they kind of, took it down from them. But just to go out there and open something of your own was not heard of. As a teenager, I was playing a lot of basketball. I played basketball for India. I was a national player, part of India team, doing camps, and so that was my dream. I think I just wanted to be a player. I just wanted to be. I mean, sound being a player does not sound the most accurate, but being a basketball player. But during that time, a lot of people used to keep asking me, "What else would you like to do?" And just a couple of days back, somebody else asked me, "If not this industry, not basketball, what would you have done?" I was very keen to join the army. And I saw one of my cousins, and also, he was like my elder brother who was in the army, and a lot of people around me. And I thought wearing the uniform was a matter of a lot of pride and patriotism. And I always carried that because, when I was playing for the country as well, or playing sports at pro athlete level, you have that inbuilt in you. So I've always wanted to be, but I don't know, somehow, because I don't think I took science, and you have to take science, and I took commerce. So that didn't turn out. I didn't go in that zone, but I think hospitality just came to me. I think because of the personality traits that I had of people thought I was very hospitable and very bubbly and very enthusiastic. And it was always conceived that to join hospitality, yes, it is true that you didn't need very high percentage in your board examination, but also you didn't have to be very intelligent. That's not true. You have to be very intelligent to be in the hospitality sector. They thought people said it is easy, you can have fun and you can get through it, but no, we differ on that. But yeah, sorry to cut the long story short. I never thought I'd be here, but like they say, destiny carves its own path for you.
That's true. And I mean, I think you need lots of brains to enter any sector of life. Otherwise, you can never really reach the top. So, thinking back in this journey, do you remember the first time that someone trusted you with real responsibility? And if you do, then how did that change you as a person in your journey?
I mean, again, starting from the fact that at a very early stage in my life, I'd held the responsibility of being a head girl of a school, which I think you have also held at some point, right? So you will connect with me, and I think that's a huge responsibility of being a leader and being a mentor to your juniors or to your colleagues. And I was the head girl for middle school, the middle elementary school level till sixth, seventh, eighth grade in Hyderabad, then became a house captain in my other school in Lamartnia, and was a basketball team captain. And of course, when you're playing for state and national and district and then leading the team. So I think those responsibilities at a young age, I don't really remember how I felt and how did it impact my life, but I think it gave you a sense of responsibility. And I think it makes you feel a little bit more grown up than your age. And I think that is what kind of continued. And it brings in a lot of competitiveness in you, whether you like it or not, because then you're benchmarked against a lot of things in life, and then you want to succeed and you want to just keep that flag being raised high. And I think that's the first thing, if I can trace back, was the responsibility I felt on my shoulders. And ever since then, it's been a great ride and have had many moments like that in my life till now. And, of course, being the current position of being a CEO of a company with almost 900 employees is a big task in my eyes and opinion. I'm 41 years old, so again, I say I'm not too young, not too old, but yes, all my life, every small responsibility that was given to me for any project that I have done, whether I did it well or not, you always feel that it's just adding up to just lead you somewhere.
Yeah, that's really nicely put. So you might want to brace yourself for this one. It's a pretty long question. I know I can't possibly list all your achievements, but just to name a few for my listeners, you have been featured in the Rob Report, Forbes magazine, Business Today, The Caterer, Esquire magazine, Vogue, Hotel and Catering, along many other magazines. You have been a speaker and even a judge at various prestigious events, including the hospitality conferences at FHS Dubai and Hixa in India. You have won more awards than I can count, including your top restaurants being featured repeatedly in Asia's Top 50, Middle East Top 50, the Caterers Award, and many more. And what tops the charts is that you have held a Michelin star restaurant for the last 3 years in Dubai, something very few professionals in the world can boast of. So, my question is this: looking at everything you've accomplished, it's easy to celebrate the awards and accolades. But what's the part of the journey that people don't see?
You know, I think it's in a short and in a cooler way, it's the hustle.
Hmm.
Especially in this industry. It's the hustle every day. Not a single day is the same. We don't lead a life where you put something in perspective day one and the same perspective carries on. Every day brings in new challenges, new concerns. It's a 24/7 job. It is not something that you do 9 to 5 or you can switch yourself off and you can evade or you can just escape it. No, this needs something that it burns you, but it brings in the desire from you. It's a whole industry in motion, and you have to keep moving on with it. It doesn't stop. So the there is a churn of your life that is on a loop. that is happening. And that's what people don't know. They see these accolades today, right? But I always say that, today's generation or people who are younger than me are always very eager to like, oh, you have it, why don't I have it? But they don't understand it took 23 years or, say 20 years to reach where I am today. It didn't happen overnight. I studied this industry. I did 5 years of it in it. I put in 15 to 16 years of hard work in that. I had downfalls, I had upfalls. I thought I was doing great jobs, but I was told on my face that you're not doing a great job. So you don't like feel bad about it. I've had moments, even today I fail. But now these failures teach you a lot more than what I think success teaches you. So what people don't know, and thank you, every time somebody reminds us of the things that we have achieved, it gives me a little goosebumps, and you feel very proud of it. So thank you for that. But it's been a hustle in a simple word every day, every day.
That's really nicely said. Now, to give you a few more goosebumps, let's talk a little bit more about the amazing restaurant concepts you have built. I understand that you've created over 75 restaurants over the years, from Michelin star Woodfire, 11 Woodfire, to Indian food inspired Mohala, the lively French concept RSVP in Dubai, the
Yeah.
eclectic Morini in Riyadh, the Indo-Japanese fusion concept Inja, the earthy Italian Camilos in New Delhi, and most interestingly, you also launched Gerbu, a restaurant owned by the royal family of UAE, an amazing farm-to-table concept that celebrates Arab and Emirati culture. Excuse my pronunciations.
Very
So,
good.
when you hear all of this listed back to you, is there one thing that you are most proud of? Not because it won an award or because it made headlines or it's the most well known, but maybe because of what it took to achieve it, the concept, the hustle, as you said. Anything from that perspective?
I mean, I would love to. I mean, Sohana, each one of them has a sad and happy story, and each one took a lot out of me to build it up. So, as much as I would love to say, oh, this one is something that I've been very, very proud of, not because I agree with you, not because of accolades or something, but I won't be able to choose because each project has been, very, very satisfying, but also very difficult in its own way, and very rewarding because every time we did a project, it gave us a lot more visibility and a lot more understanding of the next project. So each one makes you better for the next one. So it would be wrongful of me to just choose one because I think so far we've come all this way is because Mohalla was the first one and the last one was Sobo 20 in Bombay. So from Mohalla to Sobo 20, just with this company, the 8, 9 restaurants and 8, 9 years that we've done, it's just been we learned something, we faltered somewhere, and then we moved on. But because we're doing this with you in India, of course, I'm always proud of India because it was one of the most, it was the one of its first kind, being an Indian Japanese. I keep talking about it, but I think now we are over it. We took a lot of hit for it because people could understand and what was the requirement. But then this speaks about it, right? That you should go out there, do something that you want to make a difference and not and add to something and not like take it away. And that's what I like to do with my concepts. I always want to do new things, try out new things, so that tomorrow when I look back, I feel very proud of it. So, Garbu being an Emirati restaurant, and with Arab influences to it, 11 Wood Fire being one of its first kind to cook on wood fire, India being the world's first Indian Japanese, Sobo 20 being the first Franco-American in Bombay, and many, many more. But each one that we have conceptualized and done is to create and to add, not to take it from the industry.
Hmm. So, yes, I agree completely with what you're saying because every experience of life does teach you something new that you can learn from. And probably taking from your own life experience, like basketball must have taught you teamwork, being a head girl might have taught you leadership, and all of this helped create who you are as a person right now. So, from jumping timelines back and forth, let's look into the future now. In this
Mhm.
world where everything is being seen through the lens of I was wondering what part of your profession do you think will change over the next decade and how do you think we should adapt to it?
I think that's a very nice question, and I'm with AI and with technology. I'm also growing and enhancing my knowledge through it and trying to use it to our best advantage. Um, as much as I like doing a lot of things manually because I'm still old school, I know AI makes our life easier, but it's just so much harder for me to understand. For example, I like sketching my layouts and sketching designs even today before I give it to my architects and my designers. But today with AI, it's so much more easier that you just put in the inputs that I want, are looking industrial, looking rustic, this, that, and you just get this image in front of you. I don't mind it, but sometimes like, oh my God, that was very, very quick and easy. That is it even worth that? So what is happening now is technology is great, AI is great, but in our industry, because it's so inter and intrapersonal, sometimes things that make your life easier, the valuation of it does not give you the satisfaction that is it worth it. But of course, today technology has made taking orders and point of sale systems and menu creations, plating, designs and branding and everything so much more easier, and gives you so many more options. So that way, it's great. And we want to keep using it as we go forward. So yeah, I mean, there are times when I've said that this kind of food on what sort of plates would look nice, right? Before you had to sketch it out, but now today artificial intelligence is smart enough than us to just tell us like, oh, you have options of these 10 different plating options, and then you can pick and choose. So that way it's great.
Yeah, it's seeping everywhere into our current world, and I know many people dislike artificial intelligence, but it really can help us build a brighter future.
Yeah.
So, according to you, what do you think the hardest conversation every leader should have? What do you think it is?
I think, wow, interesting.
Yeah.
I think I feel that somebody becomes a leader or a subject matter expert in their field is because they know the subject really well. And I think for me, and keeping leaders in mind, I think one of the tough talks and chats that I generally have with anybody is regarding how incompetent they are. Because I actually don't have tolerance for that. And that's on me. I mean, I should be a more patient person, but sometimes, you also hire and employ people for what they're good at. And when they're not able to deliver things that should be making a leader's life easier as well, because, it's about delegation and trusting each other. And then that's when a leader will be able to stand. But if the leader's pillars are not strong enough, then the whole house is going to collapse. And that's what happens. I have these tough conversations that when I find people incompetent for what they've been hired for or if they cannot provide. So that's when I have to be like, you don't know how to do your job. And that is a shame. So I don't think anybody wants to have that conversation, but hey,
Yeah, you have to have tough conversations if you want to get somewhere in life. I mean, not everybody can make it, but everyone should try their hardest to make it. So,
listen, I've been there. I've had a lot of tough competition, sorry, tough conversations thrown at me. And then again, a lot of people in your life are also, judged to that, but we all have to go through it.
yeah,
You have to the process.
like you said, it's part of the hustle. So,
Correct?
what problem do you think the next generation of women leaders should solve that our generation could not?
Our generation, which generation talking about? My generation, your generation,
Your
because I
generation.
am three generations, 3 decades ahead of you. So you want to know what, say, my parents' generation could not solve that we
Yes,
have to solve
the
right
new
now?
future
I
generation
think,
could also help solving.
yeah, I mean, I think there should be a lot more. I'll answer that question with an anecdote or something. A lot of time people ask me that, why there are so few women, in high ranking positions than men, right? So say there's a board of CEOs, there will be probably 3 women who are CEOs, and there are like 7 men who are CEOs, right? When why there's disparity in this and that. And I said it's not fair because we cannot at this point always, point the finger at men or any other gender and tell them that it's because of this and women empowerment. If women themselves are not going to push themselves forward and are not going to compete for it, then how is it justifiable to anybody? If there was 10 positions available for a CEO's level, and 50 people applied for it, if 25 were women and 25 were men, and then there was inequality of selection because of potential credential, one could understand. But if 10 women are applying and 40 men are applying, then the whole ratio system does not work. So I always tell people that more than saying that we want equality and we want this and we want the other genders to push and this and that and everything else, but I think also women have to push themselves, have to not doubt themselves. And I think our older generation, our mom's generations, have they did not push themselves very, very hard. I think my generation started pushing, and that's why we've been able to break the glass ceiling. And I think your generation have the access, the education, and have the visibility and the power right now to push the glass ceiling and break them. So I think there will be a lot more, I think competition coming in from both the gender side. So keep doing that. That's what you have to do. Just have opinions, have a voice. Nothing is impossible for women. I don't think so that anybody should ever feel that they cannot achieve that. I think everything is achievable. So yeah,
Yeah,
keep doing
so
what you guys are already doing. So you guys are way more intelligent than what I was. Probably I was 16. We were so look at what you're doing right now. That's amazing. We could have never even thought of doing it. I was only playing in the mud and and running around.
so you're saying that these women have, I think, taken the societal constraints and made it inbuilt to tell themselves that they cannot do it. And now the future generations are breaking this assumption and moving forward in their journeys. So if there is one thing you could tell every woman out there today, what would it be?
Uh, be the hardest nut to crack. uh, don't get cracked, but like just like I said, nothing is impossible. Grow a thick skin. Sometimes too much empathy and warmth in your heart doesn't do the best to you. So have empathy where it is required, but not for every situational moment. And I will just tell all the women that, just do it. Don't think too hard, just do it. I actually had I thought of a very nice line to say. I don't know where it is right now, but anyways, when it comes to me, I will send it to you.
So, one more serious question before we have a little fun. What is one
Sure.
book, article, podcast, or speech that my followers and I should follow or read?
Um, I'm just thinking from I like what in my industry. I mean, okay, I like the interviews of Indra Nui. I'm a big fan of hers, so I've always followed her. I like listening to her. A great perspective about work-life balance and a woman and in a senior role, and as an Indian American. So Indra Nui is somebody I really really like reading her book, like listening to her and following her. I don't think she has started any podcast, but she's featured herself in a lot. Um, I have in the past liked listening to this gentleman called in India. I'm just keeping it in the country to somebody called Nikhil Kamath. He does some great roundtables and some great podcasts. Some good, fun, factual listening data there. And a friend of mine from my industry called Gauri David Dayal, the owner of Tables, started something called Speak Greasy. And I just spoke with her, and I love listening to her podcast because it's fun. It's for somebody who's interested in the F&B industry. That's something that you should definitely go and listen to. Every restaurateur, chef, and people connected to the industry, their perspective on that. And hopefully, right here, everybody should be listening to Suhana going forward.
Thank you so much. I'll link all of these speakers also in the video so that people can access their videos. Now, time for a little fun session. I'm going to give you
Okay,
some rapid fire questions. I think three rapid fire questions, and whatever comes to your mind first, I would like you to say that.
done.
So, if someone made a movie about your life, who do you think would play you?
Priyanka Chopra, hands down. I've thought about this before. She should. We have a lot of things that are very common between both of us. That's why.
Like what? Do you have some examples?
So we went, name starts with P and P. We went to the same school. She was my senior in La Martine in
Oh,
Lucknow. Yeah,
wow.
she was 2 years senior to me. Um, we both lost our fathers at the age of 31, 32. Both our mother's name is Madhu.
Oh,
We are both married to Americans from Texas. So I think that's a good starting point.
that's
So
quite
yeah,
a coincidence. Wow.
it is, right? So yeah, sorry. Let's go rapid with it.
Okay. If you were allowed to work in any profession across any career at this moment, what would it be?
Mm, what would it be? I really wish, I'm not joking. I really wish I could do the movies, but I can't. I'll have to change a lot of things, but I really want to do the movies because I find it to be a very, very fun, creative process. But I'm kidding. I want to be a painter. So at some point in my life, and I will be actually in the second innings of my life, I'm going to be a painter. I want to do sketch and charcoal painting.
Wow, that's really nice. And
Thank you.
if you could have coffee with any woman from history, who would it be and why?
Wow, that's interesting. Uh, it would be with the warrior, that Jhansi Ki Rani.
Hmm,
And I want to understand, and I want to, why? Because I want to understand what it takes to take so much gut and valor and courage to be a woman of fire and stuff substance. And I think that would be a very interesting conversation. I want to meet a woman who is made out of steel and have that fighting spirit.
that's really sweet. Now, just to end this conversation, is there anything you would like to tell all of my listeners? Anything in particular, any message to leave them with?
No, just stay safe, have fun. Life's short. You should definitely do what you love, at least once in your life, and make work your love. And then you don't have to, like they say, and it's true, you don't have to ever work for a single day in your life, because if you have passion for things that you love, life is so much more fun. And keep listening to Suhana and her series with all the wonderful women who are going to be coming up next.
Thank you. I honestly see a lot of myself in you because just like you, I'm head girl. I've played basketball at national level. I also want to become a painter at some point in life. So I hope I can achieve at least half as much as what you've achieved in your lifetime.
You're going to achieve. That's what we're talking about. Your generation is going to achieve and double down on what we have done. And I wish the same thing for you. You're going to go way further, far away and up there than I have ever dreamt of. And I wish you all the best for it.
Thank you so much for your precious time. I really enjoyed chatting with you. And I hope
No,
to
but
visit one of your restaurants soon.
perfect. But before we end this, I have a question for you as well. I can't let you go.
Yes.
That is a very interesting question. So you tell me, which woman from the past would you want to go back to and have a chat with?
That's actually a very good question.
And and you get to ask her one question. What would that be?
Hmm. I think maybe Amelia Earhart because one of
Okay,
the first women to fly. And I think back in that time, there were so many societal expectations that people had to overcome. And
right,
one question I would ask her is just like you, how did you get the confidence to talk to so many different people and help overcome the different stereotypes? And of course, flying is an entirely new section of the world that people had not really explored back then. So it's
right,
not even just a woman in a new sector, not just a woman in a field of men, but a woman in a new sector entirely of the entire world. And also going into the future with AI and all the other different advancements, there's so many different sectors that we couldn't even have imagined that will be coming up soon. And we all can
correct.
be entering these sectors at some different point in our life. So, how do we enter those sectors? What kind of a difference and change will we make? How will it help the world? How will it have impacts, effects on different people? So, I honestly just can't wait to grow up and make a difference in this world. So,
You are already making one. You will be surprised. You already are.
thank you.
I love the paintings behind. They're
Oh,
very, very
yes.
nice.
I made those when I was younger.
I know. I've been following, and your father has shared some of them. So I've seen your path on the you and your younger sister.
Yes, those
Both
are
of
my
you,
sister's paintings.
you both are beautiful artists. Just keep
Thank you
doing
so
it.
much.
Thank you, Suhana. Thank you so much for this wonderful conversation. I had fun.
Okay, and thank you everyone for tuning in.